Welcome to G Fun Facts Online. Today we are dismantling everything you thought you knew about what happens when your head hits the pillow. For centuries, sleep was viewed as a passive state, a nightly shutdown where the brain just went offline to recharge its metabolic batteries. It was considered the biological equivalent of parking a car in a garage where the engine was off, and absolutely nothing new was happening. But the last 2 decades of neuroscience have completely shattered this stillness. We now know that the sleeping brain is not silent at all. It is roaring with activity, conducting an incredibly complex rhythmic symphony of electrical impulses that are absolutely crucial for our ability to learn, to remember, and to adapt. And the most revolutionary discovery in this field is the realization that we can not only listen to this symphony, but we can actually conduct it. This is the cutting-edge science of closed-loop sleep stimulation, a neurotechnology that uses precisely timed auditory cues, like a gentle burst of pink noise, to massively boost the brain's natural rhythms. The result is something called an oscillatory memory boost, which physically strengthens the neural connections formed during the day, effectively supercharging your brain's ability to consolidate memory while you sleep. We are officially moving from passive sleep tracking to active sleep engineering. To understand exactly how a sound played in the middle of the night can improve your test score, the next morning, we have to look at the biological architecture of memory storage. The brain does not store memories in a single location, and it certainly does not store them permanently the moment they are experienced. Neuroscientists rely on the 2-stage model of memory consolidation. First, we have the fast learner, which is the hippocampus. When you learn a new fact, like a friend's new phone number or a historical date, it is initially encoded right here. This small seahorse-shaped structure deep inside the brain is incredibly fast and can capture complex information instantly. However, it is also temporary and highly limited in capacity. Think of the hippocampus as a whiteboard. It is great for jotting things down quickly, but it is easily erased and has very limited space. Second, we have the slow learner, which is the neocortex. For a memory to become long-term and something you can remember years from now, it must be transferred to the neocortex. This is the highly wrinkled outer layer of the brain responsible for higher-order processing. The neocortex requires repeated activation to weave new information into the vast tapestry of your existing knowledge. It is the library archive, which is permanent, organized, and vast. The massive problem the brain faces every single day is how to safely get information from the whiteboard of the hippocampus to the library archive of the neocortex without interfering with our daily waking experiences. The brilliant evolutionary answer to this problem is slow-wave sleep. Human sleep is divided into cycles primarily consisting of rapid eye movement or REM sleep and non-REM sleep. Non-REM sleep is further divided into light sleep and deep, slow-wave sleep. Slow-wave sleep is the absolute deepest phase of sleep, usually occurring in the first half of the night. During this vital phase, the brain's neurons stop firing individually and start firing in perfect synchrony. Millions of neurons fire together and then go completely silent together, creating massive waves of electrical activity that literally sweep across the cortex. On an electroencephalogram, or EEG, these look like large, slow-rolling hills, which is why they are called slow oscillations. These slow oscillations are the literal carrier waves of your memory. They act as a metronome coordinating a precise, high-speed dialogue between the hippocampus and the neocortex. This dialogue involves a highly specific trio of brain rhythms. First are the cortical slow oscillations operating at less than 1 Hz. These massive waves originate in the neocortex and act as the conductor of the symphony, timing all the other events. Second are the sleep spindles, which operate between 12 and 15 Hz. These are bursts of faster oscillatory activity, generated deep in the thalamus, acting as the gatekeepers that open the window for neuroplasticity in the cortex. Third are the hippocampal ripples, operating at incredibly fast frequencies of 80 to 200 Hz. These represent the rapid high-speed replay of specific memories that you formed during the day. When these 3 rhythms align perfectly, where a ripple is nestled inside a spindle, and that spindle is riding on the exact peak of a slow oscillation, the information is successfully transferred from the hippocampus to the neocortex. Neuroscientists call this the handshake of memory consolidation. It relies heavily on something called phase-amplitude coupling. where the timing of the slow wave perfectly matches the intensity of the spindle. The ultimate goal of closed-loop sleep stimulation is to make this exact handshake firmer and far more frequent. For years, scientists tried to enhance sleep using open-loop stimulation. They would play continuous white noise music or rhythmic tones completely regardless of what the brain was actively doing. The results were wildly inconsistent. Sometimes it helped slightly, but often it just woke people up or severely disturbed their natural sleep architecture. The massive breakthrough came with the realization that timing is absolutely everything. Closed-loop systems are entirely reactive. They constantly monitor the state of the brain and adjust their output accordingly in milliseconds. In sleep engineering, a closed-loop system involves sensing, processing, and stimulation. A comfortable EEG headband monitors the sleeper's brainwaves in real time. A sophisticated onboard algorithm processes this tiny microvolt signal to identify the precise onset of a slow oscillation. Then the system delivers a highly specific auditory cue, usually a short, gentle burst of pink noise at the exact perfect phase of the wave, specifically just as the wave is rising toward its up state. Why is the up state so critical? Well, the slow oscillation consists of a down state of complete neuronal silence and an up state of intense, synchronized neuronal firing. The up state is a biological window of opportunity where neurons are highly excitable and ready to process incoming information. If you accidentally play a sound during the down state, the brain effectively ignores it, or worse, it might violently disrupt the delicate rhythm. But if you play a sound exactly as the neurons are ramping up into the up state, the sound acts perfectly like a swing push. Just as pushing a child on a swing at the exact right millisecond adds massive momentum, the auditory click synchronizes the firing of thousands of neurons, causing the slow oscillation to become much larger in amplitude and far more rhythmic. Crucially, this larger slow oscillation triggers a profound physiological cascade effect. By utilizing the thalamocortical loop, a stronger upstate in the cortex triggers the thalamus to generate a massive rebound burst, which creates a stronger sleep spindle. This in turn entrains the hippocampus to generate a stronger sharp wave ripple. By simply pushing the swing of the slow oscillation from the outside, the technology completely orchestrates the entire complex memory transfer sequence internally. You might be wondering why we strictly use pink noise instead of traditional white noise. White noise contains all frequencies at equal intensity, which can sound incredibly harsh or hissing like television static. Pink noise, however, has equal energy per octave, meaning the lower bass frequencies are proportionally louder. This sounds much more like rushing water, heavy rain, or wind moving through thick trees. It is biologically much more soothing, and it decreases in acoustic power at the exact same rate that human brainwaves do following a 1/f mathematical distribution. The human auditory system processes pink noise much more naturally during sleep, completely avoiding the harsh, startle response that sharper sounds might provoke. The transition of all this from pure theory to proven science rests on a series of incredible landmark studies, most notably those pioneered by researchers at the University of Tübingen and Northwestern University. In an incredibly pivotal 2013 study, published in the prestigious journal Neuron, Dr. Jan Born and his colleagues provided the first robust, undeniable evidence that this technology actually worked in live humans. Participants memorized random word pairs like bird and toaster in the evening. They then slept in the lab with an EEG cap. On one night, the system played sham stimulation, meaning no sound was actually delivered. On another night, it played closed-loop pink noise bursts, perfectly synchronized to the upstate of their slow waves. The results were staggering. On the stimulation night, the participants' slow oscillations were physically significantly larger. But more importantly, when tested the next morning, they remembered significantly more word pairs than on the sham night. The retention improvement was nearly double that of a normal night of sleep. This proved two massive things for the scientific community. One, we can mechanically enhance brainwaves from the outside safely without any drugs or electrical shocks. And two, enhancing these specific waves directly translates to significantly better cognitive performance. Following this immense success, researchers began rapidly testing different types of memory. Declarative memory, like facts, vocabulary, and names, consistently improved. Procedural memory, like playing a piano sequence or typing, showed somewhat mixed results, initially suggesting it relies slightly more on REM sleep. but recent refinements in stimulation timing are showing incredible promise there too. One truly fascinating study involving discovery learning challenged participants to solve a complex mathematical number puzzle that secretly had a hidden shortcut. Participants who received closed-loop stimulation were far more likely to have a sudden epiphany and discover the shortcut on their own the next day, suggesting the technology helps not just with simple rote memorization, but with complex problem-solving and actual creative insight. While helping university students pass tough exams is amazing, the true killer application for oscillatory memory boosting lies squarely in healthcare, specifically for older adults facing cognitive decline. As we age, our sleep architecture changes dramatically. The most devastating change is the massive rapid reduction of slow-wave sleep. By the time a normal person reaches their 60s or 70s, they may have lost a staggering 70 to 80% of their deep sleep compared to when they were in their 20s. This loss is not just a harmless side effect of aging, it is a direct contributing factor to cognitive decline. The neurobiological handshake between the hippocampus and neocortex becomes weak because the metronome of the slow oscillations is simply too quiet or highly arrhythmic. The hippocampus fills up with daily memories but simply cannot offload them effectively to the cortex at night. This leads directly to the classic forgetfulness seen in aging, like difficulty retaining new names or recent events, even if long-term memories from their youth remain perfectly intact. Dr. Phyllis Z and Dr. Rainey Abend at Northwestern University decided to investigate whether closed-loop stimulation could reverse this exact age-related decline. Their rigorous studies targeted adults over the age of 60 and found that the acoustic stimulation successfully enhanced the physical amplitude of slow oscillations in older adults. While older brains were slightly more resistant to the entrainment, the acoustic pulses absolutely still worked. The participants showed remarkable improvements in memory, recall strictly proportional to the exact enhancement of their sleep waves. Effectively, the technology artificially restored the sleep quality of a much younger brain, allowing the memory consolidation machinery to function efficiently once again. The implications here for severe conditions like Alzheimer's disease are absolutely staggering. Severe sleep disruption often precedes obvious Alzheimer's symptoms by decades. Deep, slow-wave sleep is precisely the time when the glymphatic system, which is the brain's internal waste clearance system, actively flushes out toxic proteins like beta amyloid and tau, which are the hallmarks of Alzheimer's. If closed-loop stimulation can aggressively and safely deepen slow-wave sleep, it might offer a massive dual benefit to humanity. First, it acts as a daily cognitive prosthetic, improving memory function despite the presence of the disease. Second, it acts as a direct therapeutic intervention, potentially slowing the entire progression of the disease by massively enhancing the vital clearance of toxic plaques. Early pilot studies in patients suffering with mild cognitive impairment are already underway and showing great promise. Let us look at a real-world composite example. A 72-year-old patient named Robert was noticing severe brain fog and frustrating difficulty remembering daily appointments. In a pilot study for home-based therapeutic sleep enhancement, he wore a specialized stimulation headband for 3 months. While his cognitive scores did not jump to genius levels, his family noted a massive stabilization in his daily life. The actual EEG data showed that the strength of his deep sleep, measured as delta power, which had been in the bottom 10th percentile for his age group, had miraculously risen to the 40th percentile. For nearly a decade, this incredible technology was trapped inside expensive shielded sleep labs, requiring highly trained technicians to glue wet electrodes to scalps and monitor huge computers all night. However, the last few years have seen a massive, incredible democratization of sleep engineering. Translating complex clinical EEG to a consumer home wearable is incredibly difficult due to 3 major factors: signal noise, comfort, and latency. Signal noise is huge because at home people toss, turn, and have fans blowing. Identifying a true slow oscillation from a jaw clench or an eye blink is an algorithmic nightmare. Comfort is obvious because nobody wants to sleep with a wet electrode cap and tight chin straps, but latency is the hardest. The closed loop absolutely requires single-millisecond precision. If the Bluetooth connection lags even slightly, the sound plays too late, hitting the downstate and physically disrupting sleep rather than enhancing it. But current cutting-edge solutions are bridging this gap beautifully right now. Smart headbands use advanced dry sensor EEG on the forehead, processing the complex data directly on the microchip to ensure absolute zero latency, delivering the perfect pink noise via comfortable bone conduction. Also in-ear EEG earbuds are taking advantage of the ear canal as a dark, stable physiological environment perfectly close to the brain to accurately measure these vital waves. Now, despite the incredible excitement surrounding this, we absolutely must temper our expectations with rigorous scientific reality. First, there is the interference problem to deeply consider. Memory consolidation is a highly competitive process. If you boost all memories indiscriminately every single night, do you also boost the bad ones? There's a theoretical risk that enhancing memory consolidation could accidentally strengthen traumatic memories in people suffering with PTSD. Though thankfully, current research heavily suggests slow-wave sleep primarily consolidates plain facts rather than emotional trauma, which is handled during REM sleep, but extreme caution is still needed. There is also a known ceiling effect. In highly healthy young adults, the brain is often already working at 99% efficiency, so external stimulation might not add much noticeable benefit. The technology is absolutely most effective in those individuals with a clear deficit, whether from natural aging, extreme stress, or severe sleep deprivation. Furthermore, we must confront the massive privacy implications of neural data. Closed-loop devices generate a highly detailed nightly map of your exact brain activity that can reveal early signs of neurological disease, hidden stress levels, and much more. The strict ownership and privacy of this intensely personal data will be a massive ethical battleground in the very near future. Looking at the future, the scientific roadmap for closed-loop sleep stimulation branches into pure science fiction territory. Currently, most commercial systems use generic pink noise to gently boost all memory generally, but targeted memory reactivation, or TMR, takes it a massive step further. Imagine you are aggressively learning highly specific material, like a list of Spanish vocabulary, while a specific distinct bell sound plays in the room. During sleep, when the EEG system detects a slow oscillation, it does not just play standard pink noise, it plays that exact specific bell sound. The brain is literally tricked into reactivating that highly specific memory trace during the up state, leading to a massive targeted boost for that exact vocabulary list. We are essentially choosing which file to click save on. We are also seeing incredible integration with other sensory modalities, like advanced vestibular stimulation, which gently rocks the smart bed at the exact 0.75 Hz frequency of slow oscillations, creating a physical hammock effect that massively boosts deep sleep from the outside. Finally, think of the absolute power nap of the future. A 20-minute nap equipped with closed-loop auditory stimulation can provide the profound cognitive restoration of a full 60-minute nap, offering massive real-world applications for tired pilots, focused surgeons, long-haul truck drivers, and exhausted shift workers. As we wrap up today, it is vitally important to distinguish this proven hard science from the persistent myth of hypnopedia or sleep learning. You absolutely cannot learn a brand new language from scratch by listening to an audio tape while you sleep, because the deep sleeping brain actively screens out complex external sensory input to fiercely protect your rest. The reality of oscillatory memory boost is that you must do the hard work and learn the material while totally awake. The auditory stimulation simply helps your brain press the save button with absolute unyielding authority. We are completely entering a new era, where we are no longer passive observers of our nightly unconsciousness. We are confidently taking the baton and actively conducting the symphony of our own minds, turning our ordinary beds into highly active incubators for human potential. Thank you for joining us today on G Fun Facts Online, where we constantly dive incredibly deep into the fascinating hidden mechanics of the world and our own extraordinary bodies. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and we will see you next time.